I give the call to the honourable member for Higgins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Indigenous Australians. How is the Australian government progressing the Uluru Statement from the Heart? What is the way forward on a referendum to enshrine an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice?
I give the call to the Minister for Indigenous Australians.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Higgins for her question and congratulate her on her wonderful speech earlier today. This weekend at the Garma Festival on Yolngu country, the Prime Minister delivered the most important speech by a Prime Minister on Indigenous Affairs since the apology to the stolen generations in 2008. The Prime Minister recommended a simple question to be put to the Australian people in a referendum. Do you support an alteration to the Constitution that establishes an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice? A simple proposition, a question from the heart. As I went around the festival, the sense of excitement was quite overwhelming. Traditional owners from right across Australia looking forward to it with a sense of hope about the future, because they understand that a voice to the Parliament is about both symbolism and practical outcomes. Practical outcomes like education, health, housing and family violence. Because a voice to the Parliament will mean that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders will be consulted and heard on policies that affect them. Practical outcomes that will make a real difference to people's lives. Fairness, respect, that's what the voice is all about. I'm encouraged by the opposition keeping an open mind on supporting the referendum, and I want to sincerely thank the member for Barara for attending Garma with myself and the Prime Minister. I also want to acknowledge the former Minister and my dear friend Ken Wyatt for the important foundations he put in place on this. We have been talking about recognising First Nations people in our country's founding document for a long time. It is time to get this done together. I want to conclude by quoting another former Prime Minister, and I quote, "The Australian people want to move. They want to move towards a new settlement on this issue. I will put to the Australian people within 18 months a referendum to formally recognise Indigenous Australians in our Constitution." Everyone, that Prime Minister was John Howard in 2007, 15 years ago. If not now, when? If not now, when? Let's get this done together.